back to Retro Wednesday. It's Ty Deer. I'm hanging. This is Mike. This might be the biggest Retro Wednesday video I've ever made because it is every single boxed Kenner mask item made, and mostly US. I got some of the Euros to fill the gaps, but I never thought I could do this. I never thought I'd have all of these, and with it being so hard to get, I will do a little shaky cam as we talk. But yeah, with loyal subjects, when I found out how expensive the price was going to be on those, I said, I'm going to go ahead and just collect all these vintage, and I might as well put the money towards what I really want, was the vintage. And so with that, I do have a couple of the loyal subjects coming in the way of the light here. There's a lot of glare, some of these boxes. We're going to go through each one of them though, every one of them. It's going to be the biggest mask video I've ever made. And this took me, I had a handful of them to start, so I didn't have to buy them all. But the better part of 2025 to do this. So this was a lot of work, and it's still a ton of work ahead because I'm going to put my best in each box. Some of them came with a vehicle. Most of them came either an empty box or a box with not complete vehicle. Some of them I did have to pay up for a complete vehicle. It was crazy. But long adventure, say it's coming to an end. It's coming to the next chapter. It's not over yet, but there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of other things that, like, gateway drugs to get into here. But with all of that, we're going to start with, I'm going to try to keep them with the series. That's going to be a lot harder. I was trying to put them on the wall in the series, but, you know, nowhere can I find a picture of all this. And now with the stinking glare, I can't seem to get rid of. But anyway, hope this is fun. Coming up. What wasn't in this video was the Bolter Hero box because it's big. Like it would take up, I mean, I've already started moving stuff around and dismantling all this so that I could start with Series 1. And I realized, got to get the Bolter Hill box out of the way first. Called up a buddy of mine that said he was selling his collection, and we've been collecting together for years. And I was like, man, I can't believe you're selling your collection. It's like, well, do you have any boxes? Because that's really all I'm looking for right now. And he's like, yeah, I got a Boulder Hill box. It's really bad shape, 25 bucks. For 25 bucks, I'm pleased. So it looks like you really just get like the good graphics on the front and the top, like Kenner did back with their Star Wars line. And then you start getting some of this black and white line drawing stuff. And there's the back of it. It's huge. It's a huge box. I don't really feel the playset's that huge, but when you gotta cram it all into a box, and you've got to have some support with it, and yeah, I mean, I can cram a Boulder Hill in a smaller box, but at the same time, is it gonna arrive damaged? So they got to worry about all that. Plus, I don't think they were as concerned about like shipping costs in the 80s as they are now, and I don't think they were concerned about. They were always concerned about shelf space, I'm sure. But we just got big boxes, big play sets. I mean, even if they made it scale 1-to-1, I guarantee you they'd figure out how to make the box like 30% smaller. It's just the way things work these days. All right, the first box I want to go with is the Thunderhawk, of course. Numero uno. What I think of when I think of the toy line, I think of Thunderhawk first. A lot of people say, oh, but Rhino is the best. And my box isn't perfect, but this is the one I've had the longest. I have picked up another one. Really debating which one's better, but anyway, so all these boxes from the US are going to have the main graphic art. You're going to see what it looks like transformed. You're going to see it in its normal car mode, and then you're going to have the figure and his mask off to the side. And so that's the US release. When we start getting into some of the UK, and I'm not even sure if Canada went that route. I don't know if some of mine are Canadian or what, but they pretty much out of the US, you don't get this whole box art like that, is my understanding of the situation. Here's the side where you get to see what converts, how it converts, and here's the back, and you can see it converted, and it'll tell you all the features like retractable wings, realistic cockpit, seat flight belts, door converts, pop-up rear stabilizer, pull trigger, 2 stun bombs, release automatically, dual jet thrusters, and the figure. Little matte tracker bio there. Then on the top, you've got box damage, but it shows you how it transforms. And then on the side here, I don't think I got the second picture. It's not visible, and you get some of that stuff from old 80s catalogs if you order from the catalog. And I'm not going to show the conversion on all these, but you know, it's Thunderhawk, my favorite. Well, yeah, he's still my favorite. And there it is. The rest of them, don't expect all that. Don't expect a special treatment on all of them. There's 39 more to go. Next up, we have Condor. And I will say, tricky little sucker to collect. That is definitely for sure. To get the box for a Condor, not the easiest thing ever. We're still in Series 1, so you got long and short masks. And the box itself is super tiny. The smallest US released box out there. Because some other ones might be a little narrower, but they're taller and they go deep. So very, very fun. So I'm pretty pleased with this box. It cost me like 70 or 80 bucks. But it had a Condor in it, which I guess I had to pay for that, even though I didn't need it. Didn't need it at all. But it shows the conversion of it. It shows both modes up there. Now, this flap becomes an issue with some of these because they'll be damaged, bent. Mine has a giant crease through it. The tape residue is a mess from the factory. You can have that no matter what. And you can see all of the different things that are going on with it. You get the UPC, you get the points, which I don't think we ever mailed off for anything with this toy line. Am I right? Of course I'm right. But hidden dual laser landing skids, manually operated helicopter blades. The cheapest one, you would think this would be the most common box, and there'd be like 15 of them on eBay. But they all got opened. Almost all of these got opened because they were the cheapest one and kids played with them. And I people even said in my comments in one of my videos that they had gotten like 2 Condors. Or maybe that was a comment I read on Facebook. Anyway, there's Condor. So one good thing about making this video specifically is I can right me some wrongs, and we've already done the short mask and the long mask, and then it does show him in the intro wearing his other mask. So that's always a thing that you can do, but my wrongs aren't in the figures. They're in the vehicle. And when I made my video, I didn't even know it had a rear bumper that mine was missing. That's crazy. And then of course I didn't have the tire on there. Mine wasn't 100% complete. I didn't want to spend the money on it at the time, but I have since. So now it's complete. And I got to tell you that this whole tire eject function is so fiddly. I can't even, I don't know. It's fiddly. It takes me a long time to get them reset. And I mean, I've got like 5 of them, so having them all reset. But somebody says you shouldn't keep it under tension, but I do anyway. But anyhow, let's get into the box. Hopefully I righted some wrongs there. The box is kind of cool. Mine's okay condition. I'm satisfied with it. I got like a dent and a crease, but it shows the tire flying off. It shows it in its converted mode. It shows the figure, the extra motorcycle. Is that a split seconds? No, that's not a split seconds. And then we've got changes to a recon. Then we have over here firecracker on the side. Pretty simple. And I guess the other side would show converted mode. And one of the fun things about boxes is the price. This thing was $16.97. There's the back, shows everything. So if I want to know what they wanted to call movable hypnotic headlights or front-mounted thermal detonators and all that kind of stuff, I guess you refer to the box. And if you don't have the box, it takes you 10 seconds to look up a picture of a box to read what they call this stuff. So I probably should have done that. Probably should do that going forward, right? That's what I do with my G.I. Joe reviews, is I look at the box and the spec sheets and stuff. This shows the whole transformation and all that kind of fun stuff. Firecracker. Next up, we've got Gator, and got both versions. We're going to see, I guess, him again. I don't know if I'm pulling the playsets out to compare. Maybe just the vehicles. Set a precedent with the Boulder Hill, but I've got 2 of them in this box. There's enough room in here to fit 2 if you don't have the thing. Okay, anyway. There's the box. It's nice. Nice box. I like it. Mine's probably not in the best shape of as Gator's boxes go, but I'm happy to have it. A friend of mine, I got it from a friend of mine. His uncle sent him all his stuff. His old boxes and stuff. But it would have been nice to have had the insert. My understanding is they had the inserts to everything and threw them away and folded the boxes up and mailed them to him with just the boxes. And the inserts were all thrown in the trash, which was insane. And when he told me that, he was like, man, I couldn't believe it. When I got it, I thought the inserts would be there. And they were like, oh no, that was just trash. We gave you the boxes. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, they also had Robotech inserts to the Robotech boxes and all that. Here's the bottom. You get to see the powerful sonic depth charge. You get the roll bar becomes a long-range atom bomb blaster. And, you know, I haven't moved it around like this since I put those in there. So now all the parts are falling off everything. But anyway, the Gator box. I mean, Gator, one of my favorite. I know Loyal Subjects is making it, so I will probably end up eventually picking up the Loyal Subject stuff because I love the artwork, I love the boxes, but Gator, probably one of my top 5. Next up is Rhino, the Rhino box, but so you can see the Rhino itself and the vehicle and both figures with both masks. Probably not my best version, but it was the one that I kept in my display. Now, I'm content with this box, but it is rough. And I knew it was rough when I had it, but I was just happy to have one. If I upgrade, I've seen some nicer ones, but I was like, for the price, it's not worth it unless it has the insert. And then I see some nicer ones with the insert, and then, anyway, this is what a box looks like, sort of. Rhino! And it's big. It's a good sized box, too. You can show it all converted. All the functions, and well, some functions and features. Then we get the back, which I think is the best for showing all this stuff. This is a wind deflector becomes radar scanner, enemy ejection seat, power ram from bumper. Sorry, Bruce Sato. I eject him because he's always the passenger. But maybe he should drive. We should eject. Man, Tracker. That'd be more fun, huh? Bulletproof shield, all-terrain vehicle with dual suspension, mask, mobile, computer command center, powerful missile launcher. Fun stuff with the Rhino. Shows you his ramming feature and it separates. And the bottom is just more stuff. See, my box is actually falling apart. You know, when I look online and I see boxes similar to mine, almost all the time the seams have come. The glue that holds the seam has come apart. It's actually hard to get a good Rhino one. That is the positive to the Loyal Subjects is it's still $125, but minimum to get in on a Rhino. But at least they have nice boxes. Next up, we got the Jackhammer with the Cliff Dagger, and this is another fun one. Small side story. This is what got me back into Mask. I was at a toy show, Dallas Comic-Con. Someone there had just the vehicle for $5, and I was like, all right, cool, I'll get it. But I messed with it, and over a few weeks, maybe a month, I realized I think I want to start collecting Mask, and it just took this one here, Jackhammer, to get me into Mask. Not my favorite, probably not even in my top 10 anymore of my favorite Mask ones, but I have a lot of great memories with this. So Jackhammer vehicle, again, follows the standard US release. I think all of the Series 1 I have are US release. I think it might actually be harder to get UK or Euro releases for the Series 1s. I think that might be harder. Okay, armored hood shield, Cliff Dagger, a Venom with torch mask, removable, rotatable air defense weapon, rotatable anti-aircraft turret, and then doors open and close. Of course they do. And then here we go with the Jackhammer. Armored hood shield protects driver. Front grille reveals powerful reciprocating cannons. And pop-up armored anti-aircraft. Same stuff. Same stuff. But yeah, that's the Jackhammer box. Kind of fun. Next up is the Piranha. And after about 30 minutes deliberation, I realized that this one is still my better of the two boxes. But anyway, getting into this, here we go with both heads, both helmets, and then we got, of course, a rider on the vehicle itself. But Piranha is, there's the box, so you can see the action of it floating out. And the artwork is just so amazing. Part of the reason the boxes are so much fun with the artwork. And still with the US artwork. $9, so $9 back in the day, which would be about what, like $17, $18 today. with inflation. $20 today. Certainly not going to be $20 for a remake of this, that's for sure. But anyhow, there we go with all the different features and functions and fun stuff, and it shows it on the top. Mine's a little dented in, but shows the action. You know, kind of does follow the Transformers box where the action, the transformations on the top. Opening and closing canopy, sidecar becomes submarine, powerful water cannons, sly racks, of course him, pop-out stabilizers, hidden ground torpedoes, and steerable front wheel. Steerable. There's Prana. Here we go, Switchblade. Another one that loyal subjects really convinced me I need the vintage box. Look, it was only 20 bucks. Anyway, I had to get the vintage box. It's got to say Switchblade to me. I'm sorry. It's just the way I feel. But that doesn't mean I won't get theirs eventually. I do say the mask, the first series mask, is highly superior, even though they look almost the same. And I will kind of zoom in on this real quick. People have been... this is just happens to be one of the ones I had in helicopter mode. And so I pulled it to show because people are complaining about these not sticking down on the new reissue versions. And the vintage ones... It is a point of contention for the vintage one, only because it's highly worn out. But I think I have 6 of these now, and 5 or 6. They all clip down fine. I checked them all. Yeah, there's not a smaller shirt. And I did make sure they clip down fine. So the vintage one wins in that category. And the fix to that is there's not a fix. It's a piece of molded plastic that provides the resistance. So... there is actually a fix. You could open it all up and slide something in there to add more depth so there's more resistance. That is actually a fix for your new ones, but the vintage ones, like 95% of the ones I've come across still work fine. There's only been like 1 or 2 that I've ever messed with that didn't. Here's the box. Very fun. You know, oddly enough, when I see this box, it's kind of peaceful. Like you're up in the air. No one's really bothering you. It's nice and peaceful. But then the guy flying it wants to start some trouble. So that's why he's got a missile. That's why he's got all that going on. Even on the box, though, if you look at it, that doesn't look clipped down. If you look at it, that's weird. I just noticed that. It doesn't look hidden. It's like it's still exposed. The rotor. All right, let's look at the rest of this box here. There it goes. Shows both modes. Looks very nice. So Switchblade. On the side, it shows both modes, but that you can spin this with the spinning thingy. And then this isn't the best box in the world. It was the best box I got for the price I chose to pay. And yeah, I just got the box so I can throw one of my 6 ships in there. You know, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. So, rotatable helicopter blades. Canopy opens and closes. Realistic cockpit details. Landing skids have hidden energy bolt launchers. Raising the tail fin automatically releases the wings. Powerful missiles hidden under the fuselage. Dual laser cannons. And Miles Mayhem. So evil. Yeah. This is the Switchblade box, and probably one of the most important ones that I picked up out of all these. Next up, we've got Scott and T-Bob, and I wouldn't have even included this because this is considered a figure pack, and that's something for like years in the future when if I ever track down all the figure packs. But I ended up with this box, and it was about $100. Of course, it has a Scott and T-Bob in it, but most expensive Scott and T-Bob, unless you get it sealed on the card. Getting a box sealed probably is stupid expensive, but it's so tiny. Like, I got an iguana box right here. You can see like how small it is. In my mind, I thought it was bigger, more like Pit Stop Catapult, and that these guys were like in a tray in there or something. And no, this is a super tiny little box. I mean, the smallest box I have, but it's not a US released box. It's a Euro box. And the Europe boxes have them just kind of superimpose the figure in there, usually up a little higher, but the box is so small. And they just didn't want to make it microscopic where the kids didn't see it. Now, Euro boxes, what they do is they just repeat the front on the back. And there's a UPC on that side, and then nothing on that side, and no more pictures. But if you don't like the box, I think the box is okay. The box is kind of cool. I got a little stuffing in there to try to give it a little volume because it's pretty beat up. It is not in great shape. Just happy to have one. So I realized that we're not going to get, probably not going to get these from the loyal subjects. So I will go deeper on this in the future when I get, you know, maybe a full set of, you know, all the card backs and stuff, the carded figures, all of the adventure packs and stuff. May never get those though. But you notice how the bubble is kind of turning amber color, it's yellowing. This is what a clear bubble looks like. All right, now we're going to get into Wave 2 or Series 2. And we'll start with Firefly, Firefly's box, and get him out of the way. Nice little break there. Band-Aid is no longer there. Thank goodness. Okay, so we have a price tag on it for $7.98. It's always fun to see how much this stuff was. $7.98 is a good price for this, I guess, for back in the day. I mean, really thinking about it, $8 is pretty pricey for something like this back in the 80s. But you get to see the artwork, the figure, what it changes to. On the top, you get the transformation gimmick, which is kind of fun too. And Dune Buggy Rocket Glider. On the bottom, you get to see some of the accessories and features, the bomb, the guns, the front gun. Here's the side of it. Here's the back, and of course, it's going to have Goodyear tires, trademark, supersonic turbine, snap out, chassis wings, prism beam launcher, super stun atomizer, tripod lasers. Yeah, here we go. Firefly. Next up, we got the Hurricane with Hondo McLean, and this, of course, replaced the Firecracker, and he got an all new vehicle, all new costume to go with that. Here's the box, and now I will admit my box probably isn't in the greatest condition, but I was just happy to get one for a decent price, and I was kind of like taking it for, you know, whatever I can get, but still, it's pretty decent from the front. That's what I cared about the most. And as you can see from the wall there, like all mine, I was focused on at least getting a good front, but you get to see the figure, 57 Chevy, a true 57 Chevy. And then the top of it, you get to see what it turns into, how it pops up, all the stuff that can be done here, infrared blasters. The bottom, more of the features, which as you get higher in the price point, you get more features included in this, so that works. There's the side, kind of showing a couple of the things going on with it. Then we get to the back, and giant piece of tape, and I'm afraid to try to heat up and get off, so I just leave it, but it still looks good enough to see what's going on here. Mini cutting lasers, terror spare landmines, broad saw blade, extra set of wheels, extra set, night vision scanner, infrared blaster, and gale force wind howitzer. And then this side right here, this is the Hurricane. Next up, we've got the Outlaw with the Nash Gory figure and the Miles Mayhem. This vehicle is kind of, in my opinion, the Series 2. Are we still in Series 2? Yeah, Series 2 version of sort of the Rhino. And although it's for the bad guys, it's a counterpart to Rhino as it turns into a base kind of deal and does some stuff. But it's size-wise and kind of in that scale, so they could have that scale on the shelf. And here is the box for it. And mine's a little worn, but I'm happy with it pretty much. One of the things I want to say is that the artwork is great. It looks like a whole lot of fun. The characters are represented. This is the US box still. I think I don't have any. It's going to be a while till we get to the UK boxes. Here's the side. You can see all of that good stuff. Let's look at the top. It shows how it converts over. And over here, all the parts. This surprisingly has a lot of troublesome parts to track down to get it complete, believe it or not. And there we go, right there with more of the features that it can do. And there's a lot of advertising space, feature advertising space on a box this big. And yeah, one thing I find out about, it feels like the boxes this big get damaged a lot easier because they're so big, and storing them for 40 years is probably a pain. But okay, so we have the Rattlefire howitzer, we've got the fanged grappling hook launcher, pop-up turret, and a bunch of stuff I can't read because it's covered there. Power cable, power pack with cable, sliding console, cockpit, tilt up, control panel, flip forward front cab with operational roof, and then rotating tanker with top computer console, and then dual radar scanners. This is the massive Outlaw. Next we've got the Raven, and I'm going to right one of my wrongs from my past videos because I've made videos reviewing all this. In the past I had pulled this out and just tried to get it to shoot by letting it go, but you're supposed to push the button. Oh, not push the button. Push the button. Push that button. Just caused another wrong there, but you get 2 of these saw blades with it, and I was wrong all along how it's supposed to shoot. And that probably does some damage to the box, which is kind of stupid that I did that. But anyhow, there it is. That one's probably in my top 5 or 6 of favorite vehicles. I've always loved the Raven, just the playability of the Raven, everything you can do with it. You can just have it as a standard car, and then jet engines pop up, the flip around, just the auto converting, kind of like we saw with Back to the Future. I mean, you got to think about it. Came out in what, 1986? This was probably 1986's Series 2, so it's pretty awesome. Here's the side showing the things that can be done. Yes, dull. I didn't have this box when I made that video. People be like, duh, Mike. You didn't know that? Well, okay, pop-up spoiler, which is fun. Looks like it's turbojet thruster jets. You got the wings that open on the side. It's kind of reverse gullwing doors. You get 360 particle blasters right here. You get immobilizer discs. I always lift them way up. It shows it just slightly lifted. Torpedoes, and then quick flip hood and the immobilizer discs. So very nice vehicle. Love it. The boxes, I'm very, very pleased with the way the box looks and presents. And I think for all of these, like up till you get the split seconds, I think I kind of kept them under the $100 range, unless they were like the really bigger vehicles, had to go to close to 200, but this was probably around the $100 range, and pretty happy. Of course, they have to include a complete vehicle in there. Next up is Slingshot, and I do want to say this, I did perform a fix to this Slingshot to where it stays closed a little better than it did. As you can see, tape residue, I was keeping it taped shut. So this is probably my least of my best because I didn't want to risk messing it up. And then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, 30 minutes each, I need to do the rest of them. But moving this one out of the way here, it comes with Ace Riker. The box itself is going to show what all Slingshot can do here, and it is an RV surveillance unit with Sonic Jet and action figure. So here we go with RV changes into the surveillance. Nice art back there, Jet shooting out. The vehicle itself doesn't feel like, once it transforms, it does feel like a base more than a vehicle. So it's just kind of like a mini base, and you could say that's the same thing that Rhino was, kind of like that. It's kind of flopping around in the box there. One of the things I'm going to do also is, as I put all these back on the shelf, I'm going to make sure that these are secured in there, more so that I can stack these without having to mess up damage anything, but a little bubble wrap more in there. Here's the back. Dual phaser units, rotating turrets, fold open body halves, control cockpit, revolving front grille with dual mounted cannons, one-man Sonic Jet, laser tracing, bomb drop, launch platform, turret cockpit with positionable binocular scanners. This is Slingshot. Nice box, $22. And I didn't say it before, but the last one we looked at, the Nevermore Raven, that was $13. Next up we have Volcano here. This one has Matte Tracker, and it has Jacques Lafleur, and the only fully automated vehicle, I think it's the only one that they made that actually rolls on its own. Do want to show with this open, that is what the seatbelt looks like in there. It's a nice little seatbelt, holds in tight, clips in on one side, both sides up here, one side back here. Very, very delicate and hard to get. I'm starting to think I have that upside down. Maybe I have that upside down. But anyway, there's the vehicle. So here's the box, and the box is a little rough. Mine, I mean, overall looks good. It's got some tears and rips and stuff, and I tried to kind of restore it somewhat as best as I could, but motorized, and you get to see the figures, characters. The artwork is amazing. It's kind of big. It's kind of tall. It's got to fit that giant vehicle in it, and it kind of shows what it does. It's automatic, and as it rolls, that moves. Oh, there's one in here. I think it works too. All-terrain high-rise tracker with 2 action features. It's got a couple of things going on right there. Then we can turn this to the side, and we get to see all this fun stuff that it can do. And to the back. And probably won't read all of this because there's a lot. But positionable lava launchers, the armed barrier. Pod rises and swivels automatically. Body halves split and can be positioned for extra protection. Dual red hot sandblaster, second cockpit, open and close sunroof, all that kind of stuff. This is Volcano. Look at the Vampire, and I want to say about Vampire is that, well, it is cool design, cool idea how it turns into a jet instead of a helicopter. It's like a Condor, and it took the same spot over from Condor, but I first found out about this on the playground. Some kid had it on the playground, and I was like, that's not Mask. No, it's not. I didn't know there were new ones out yet. And so the next time I went to the store, sure enough, new Mask stuff was out, and it was pretty exciting. And this is the one that almost all the kids got because it was cheap. Like how cheap is cheap? On sale for $5. So I guess the regular price would be like $7. I don't know. But it was on sale for $5. There's the flap to watch out for, the transformation up top. And it does get fiddly over time, though. There it is with some great artwork, him flying and showing how it works there. Floyd Malloy, we see him again down the road. A whole lot of fun. And then, does that reverse? No, that's the way it's supposed to look. It shows that it's a friction bomb, and then it has this little boomerang atom blaster. What's boomerang about it? But let's see what else it says here. Flip up stabilizers with tracers. We've got boom thrusters. We've got retro rockets that are manually deployed. We've got boomerang atom blasters. I don't know how boomerangs drop down. Cowling shield. And this is Vampire. It's pretty cool. I like it. I've always been kind of fond of Vampire. And Billy Idol. Next up we have Stinger, and my story surrounding Stinger, and I've told it a few times, but it's the first thing I ever got to order out of a catalog ever. My mom ordered it for me out of the catalog, and I thought I was slick, and I thought she was paying for it. And when it arrived, she says, "Where's your $21?" And I'm like, first off, why is it $21? That's really expensive. I thought it was going to be like $13, because that's what it would have been at Walmart or something like that. And then second, I was like, what? I didn't know I was going to have to pay for it. She's like, well, it's too bad, so you pay for it. And I loved it. I absolutely loved this vehicle. It was a whole lot of fun. So I don't know why I had to pay for it. But anyway, that's my memory of it. GTO changes to armored tank and back, and it's great artwork showing what's going on right here. This is prior to Racing Series, but you do see this a lot featured in the Racing Series. There's Bruno Shepard on the top. You see the transformation as if it's Transformers or something, and those pipes that go up. All this was so much fun. Every wheel had this little laser cannon thing that popped up, and then on the bottom here it shows you the things that are going on. What do they call it? The retractable wheel gun. And see, I put them up all the way, but they show them only slightly up on any of these wheel guns that they use. But let's see what... There's the side of it showing you removable mortar snaps into battle. So this is, I guess, the mortar itself shoots off instead of, I thought it was kind of like a cannon, and the slick GTO. And then we've got on the side here extendable Stinger claw and all that. Okay, what does it say here? Whole lot of features. Okay, so sniper scope cannons for the exhaust, removable mortar, rotating radar scanner on the front there. There's a pull out armor battle shield that goes above the windshield, and the retractable wheel guns right there. Rugged tread tanks, extendable Stinger claw, open and closing trunk, and this is Stinger. I still wouldn't put it in my top 10 of the mask vehicles, but I would say it would be really, really close. Next up, we've got Billboard Blast. Now I'm gonna kind of feature Alex Sector and is it Buddy Hawks that I didn't pull them out when I was showing the box for Boulder Hill because I did not have Boulder Hill out, and Boulder Hill I did not show that because I didn't want to pull it out of the plate. It was couldn't make it all work anyway. There's the figure. One thing I want to point out is how tall this is and how big it is versus how small the box is. So it has assembly required. You're not fitting that in there. So it comes where you have to plug this into this, or somehow you have to put it together. I didn't put it together a new one, so I don't know. My box is in rough shape, but I'm just happy to have it. And it was still not cheap being as rough as this is. So Billboard Blast being one of the more common ones out there, getting it in a box is really, really hard, or not so much hard, but expensive. And I just wanted the US box. Could have gotten a UK box cheaper, but anyway, you get to see, it looks like a beginning idea of racing. I got a racing track in there, and a racing flag, and got the figure on there. Of course, it's just a repaint of Dusty Hayes. I mean, they did a lot of repaints. This is clever ways to do repaints from back in the day. Billboard Blast on this side, Raceway Billboard, and then you get the 2 high-powered missiles can be loaded into the platform. We get around to the back where all this stuff's falling apart. And then we've got the rotating gunner seat. We've got the flight turbines. We've got the 2 high-powered missiles, missile trigger, propeller, post. Anyway, this is a rough Billboard Blast. Next up, we've got Bulldog with Boris Bushkin. And there's the Boris Bushkin figure. This thing it's kind of strange how it just kind of pops back. And I did get a couple parts confused on this. Like if I was looking and I thought I was getting a part for Rhino, like this cover or one of these, and it turns out it was for this. That's how I first learned about it, and I was like, oh, so I didn't have this as a kid. But anyway, I'm going to get this out of the way here. Now, if you want to see any of the transformations or any of that kind of stuff, watch one of my other videos. I've done everything. I have actually done every single item made, but now I'm into the boxes. So this kicks off the racing series. Actually, technically, the Billboard Blast kicked off the Series 3 racing series, but you get to see the racing flag right there. You get to see the Boris and what he's got going on the racing ring, and, you know, half armored, half track. It shows him the conversion process over here, and then it's going to show the features of this moves, so the cab pivots, missile launching, guns that come out. You get the chainsaw, the jagged tongue. It's a jagged tongue, not a chainsaw. Okay, then I stand corrected. On the side here we got powerful diesel truck, smokestacks pivot, just like Rhino. And then it's got this little cover here. I wonder if it says it on the back what that is. That is the armored command post right there. That's what that is. And yeah, pretty nice stuff. Twin grill guns, snow blizzard blasters, jagged tongue, pivoting cab seats, radar, disruption, shell, tanks, treads that flip around. This is Bulldog. Also Bulldoze, and I don't have the UK box to show that. Next up, we've got Bullet over here, and Bullet is kind of a fun one. It does kind of turn into a bit of a hovercraft to split the tire, like blows your mind. The tire splits in half. Wouldn't it blow out if it did that? But fun little toy. I had it as a kid, and I had a lot of confusing, conflicting thoughts about this back in the day when I was a kid. But I still thought, you know, I got it because you always get the cheapest, lowest price point. When this was $5.49 on sale, originally it was $7.49. I really thought that you could get these for like $50 or $60 sealed because of the Chile find. But getting a set of the Chile ones was like $7.50. So like, to me, that wasn't really a good deal to spend that much money on those. And the prices really haven't come down because of that, which is really strange. They found all those cases of masks, but they charged market price for all of them, so they didn't go out for cheap. Anyway, here it is showing everything with there, the conversion to a hovercraft with spinning turbines and stun gun, and you got the flap to watch out for, of course. Then down here it shows that the stun gun that comes out and the grappling hook, and then the side showing it's a lightning street bike, and then you get all the manually launched grappling hook, manually launched, meaning you got to pull it out yourself, activation button, stun gun, spinning turbines, and the hovercraft. This is Bullet. Next up is Razorback, and I will admit this one is a bit of a challenge to get in white condition, to get with the figure in his helmet, and I don't know why. I have no idea why. I got mine, well, not the one in the box, but the first one I got 100% complete from sort of a buddy of mine that had a toy shop, and he only charged me like 20 or 25 bucks for it. I was like, let's do it, but nowadays they go for a little bit more than that. But let's get a look at the box. This is indeed Razorback, and it is a T-Bird stock car, changes to Snap, Rescue, Tank, and back. So, pretty cool looking racing stuff going on there. You get to see what it does, and we'll see all those features. Top shows the transformation, just like a Transformer, ripping off Hasbro right there. Now Hasbro is owns this, so they're going to be ripping off Kenner in a way through the loyal subjects. Okay, metal cutting lasers, drop down doors, expose sand blasting cannons, and prism missile launches from the front hood. We get to the side here, and it just shows both modes. And some of these have trouble retracting, so you got to be careful with that. And see, it's funny. It's not supposed to go that far out. It's supposed to do that. So that's false advertising, isn't it? Low riding position for, I don't know. I never had to do that. I've never done that before. Oh, I guess if you don't fold these back in, you could do that with it. Oh, I guess that's the problem that some people have, is these won't fold in. So that's the future. This is 40 years later what'll happen if you use it a lot. Okay. Sandblasting cannons. We saw this prism missile, Brad Turner, which wasn't Brad Turner the Condor? Okay. Snap wheels, conversion panel, and metal cutting lasers. This is the mighty Razorback. Next up, we've got Goliath, and pulled his friend out here. I don't actually have one of this Mat Tracker on display. So, for those of you who watched my Righting My Wrongs video, I think I was showing that I didn't have a steering wheel. I didn't even know it needed a steering wheel when I made my video, so I ended up getting one with a steering wheel, and one with a good mask, because I busted my mask on it. So, and then of course I got the box one that came with a mask too. So these masks dry out, so be very, very careful with them. Here's the Goliath box, and it does show that it is a Formula race car and transport truck. Changes to the missile launcher and jet fighter and back. And it has Nevada Rushmore, Mat Tracker, and nice artwork in the racing series. Over the top here, you can see the features. This is the transformation on the top, just like Transformers would do. This is how it converts. These are the features, and as you roll this, the back parts move. He's got this comes down with his gun, and you can launch those, all kinds of fun stuff. And then we have the back of it. Well, the sides we do the same thing. Price on this at Target was $30. $30. And then no UPCs. UPCs don't exist. Launcher, pivots, same stuff. Dual missile launcher, movable cab with drop-down gunner seat, moving flame extinguishing gun, slicker missiles in jet wings, pilot's cockpit, jet performance fighter. The tail fin always breaks off, rear turbo thrusters, but this one is, of course, the massive Goliath. And for the Racing Series 3, this is basically the Rhino. The Rhino of Series 3. And this is probably the most requested one that people want little subjects to do in my comments down below. Next up, we've got Meteor and Toy 99. This one is, in my view, it feels like a little bit of split seconds to me, because it splits into two vehicles. And a lot of people brought that up in my split seconds video, but here is the Ace Riker figure. Definitely looks like a astronaut out there, and pretty cool vehicle. But at the same time, the base that's left behind sucks. So, like, it's an idea that the front jet, okay, that's cool, but this is weird. This just really is weird how that operates. But anyway, stunt jet changes to flying pod and mobile tank. That's how it converts. It just, you push the button, it splits apart, and that pops up. And I actually, let's put it like this. I actually have not, since my last video, never put this in, changed the mode whatsoever. And now I'm curious if I got the sticker right there. But tank command center, rear cannon can be loaded with the torpedo missile and fired with a push button. And then, does it really fire that well? Powerful tank treads drop down. And so even someone who's been collecting this for 15 years like myself, I can definitely say I learned stuff from these boxes. So fun stuff. Stunt jet. Okay, I will admit this. I actually like actual split seconds vehicles better than this. So I'm glad I didn't spend the crazy money that the people in Chile were asking for a Meteor. I got this way cheap. I got this like for like $70. Next up, we've got the collector with the color variation of Alex Sector. I really think it was like more or less the vest and torso are the different colors, but maybe even the grays are different on it. But the same exact mask, which is different because the Dusty Haze and the Slight Racks we're going to see have different color masks too. But I wanted to show that off in this, or just to show that that's how it goes. Get this out of the way. Here's the box. Another one of the boxes that's kind of hard to get. The collector shows this. The bottom of it, flip roof reveals rotating laser Gatling gun extends from toll booth. Armored control bunker with Gatling gun, unsuspecting roadside toll. Then on this side it shows the roadside toll booth. On the bottom it has turbine engines, makes the toll booth pretend flying assault vehicle. So it's supposed to fly. Rotating radar dish, concealed flight turbines, swiveling mortar cannon, front armored. This looks a lot like the laser command, the one that's in the laser command crate. And then Gatling gun. Yep, there we go. Collector. Next up, we've got Wildcat in here, and this is one that is a little challenging to get all the parts to. It comes with 6 discs, which, I mean, that's hard to get. The vac metallized tow hook, the arm, the gun, these control pieces, these here, and then the figure himself. I mean, so this is starting to get into some hard to get stuff with it, but get into the box. With his mask on, he's a really, really tight fit in there. Now for the box itself, pretty nice box overall. Shows score of the racing, and you can see this thing here does the shooting, goes from a tow truck to a vertical fighting machine and back. And there is the transformation, just like a Transformers. And here are the features, like disc launches when truck is pushed, when it's converted. I wonder if it does it when it's not converted. Probably. Okay, front cab tilts and pivots, a concrete cannon. The tow hitch actually tows vehicles. Some vehicles. It looks like you can have some functionality with that. There's the side there. And on the back, pretty much shows all the same stuff, but look at all those discs. Look at all those discs and tow hitch and doors open and close. That's a feature. Saw blades. We had that on all these other ones too. Energy blaster, conversion activator, and that is Wildcat, which is actually kind of a cool one and was directly copied for the 1996 Hasbro Vortec line. Next up is a pit stop catapult, and I've already done a video right in my wrongs, but in my main video I did put this in sideways and make it fly. It sort of worked, but this works way better. Didn't have a box at the time, so I was making some stuff up as I went, I guess. So here it is, showing at the racing scene that it looks like you can gas up in the pits on the pit stop, and then turns out you're in danger with the flap back there. You're in danger of messing that flap up. Here is the Pissed Off Catapult, both versions, transformation, and then shows that's I needed that picture. I needed that really bad. And then figure standard station. It looks like it's got a hose. So mine doesn't have a hose. So I guess I'm missing a hose. I mean, that's not hard to get. I mean, I've got it's like GI Joe hose and stuff like that. So it's another fail on my behalf not having a hose. I gotta go watch my video. Maybe I did have a hose. I don't know. But anyway, fun stuff is a sawtooth shredder, stacked tires, catapult arm, tank treads, which make up Stop Catapult. Next up we have a buzzard, which is pretty cool, pretty fun. It was 15 bucks. My kids, I gave a buzzard that was missing this though, but I had everything else pretty much to them to play with, just have fun with. And out of like about 12 vehicles, I think they played with this one the most. They really liked it the most. And then if you look at this, you've got the Miles and his brother Maximus, but they also made him with a Collider mask, which is really cool. The Collider mask repainted from Gloria Baker. And I had to just track down one of those. And this fin is almost always missing, which for so long I didn't even know it came with a fin. Silly me. But here we go with the box. And I believe the one in here has a fin. It's actually got something in it. It's not an empty box. But from Formula Race Car to a Land, Air, Squad, and back. And it's got a drone in it. So it's starting like putting one step into split seconds. You know what I mean? It's like they had the ideas, let's test them, and this was a good one. This was a good way to do it. Awesome Formula Race Car converts to Land, Air, Squad with 2 dragsters and a jet fighter. Bottom shows what it does. Figures pop up in dragster when launched, so that is a feature. And then the melter cannons, and then it has a drone pilot. There's the side of it showing the conversion sort of again, and then you get to see kind of all the stuff that it's supposed to be doing right there. Detachable hang gliders, and then we've got wings extend from the jet fighter. We've got figures pop up in dragsters. We've got tethered mask hides drone pilot, slicer cannons, melter cannons, and this is Buzzard. Next up we've got Iguana, and this one is probably a pretty common one that's out there, pretty easy to get. It is more or less taken over the price point that we got, the lowest price point one that we saw in the past with Condor and Vampire and Bullet, so it's pretty easy to get still today. And we'll get out of the way. So this has Lester Sludge, and it does have that flap. It was $749, $745, something like that. And so watch out for that flap. On top it shows the transformation, what it does, which it actually is a cool vehicle. Like you got this saw, you got the guns. I had this as a kid, so I was in Series 3 still. So I still was in Series 3, came out, loving Mask. And I don't even know if the show was even on. Maybe it was, but I don't know if I don't remember watching the racing series. I don't remember this being part of a racing series. You want it on the side, on the back here. So movable rapid fire bazookas, second cockpit. I never really thought about that as a kid. Freewheeling, circular saw blade, Lester Sludge of Venom, projecting slither, slicer, rear deflection shield when the seat pops up, and then hyper speed boosters. This is Iguana. Next up we have Manta. Manta was part of the Chilean find and still is highly sought after. Hard to get in good condition, hard to get complete. People want as much as 40 bucks just for the ejection seat or the drop down seat. So it's kind of wild that this was still very challenging to get a nice box for, but not impossible. Probably because of Chilean find that somebody had this nice of a box available. So I'm just gonna take it like that and just go on with it. I'm happy to have it. It looks really nice. Here it is from the back. The flap, I wonder why, like, this size vehicle getting the flap is kind of weird. It is kind of weird, because we're going to start seeing, like, the afterburners a little bit bigger than this box. But, okay, it shows the transformation. On the bottom, it does show the features, which we'll read when we get to the back. Nice flight kind of scene that's going on there, and this is what it does. A Nissan 300ZX race car, not a Datsun. And then a Trident missile and grill cannons are exposed during conversion transformation. All right, quick escape seat or an ejection drop seat. Trident missiles do not fire, it's just for looks. Front grill cannons, cantered wings with laser blasters, propulsion turbine, dual raked wings with magazine guns, and stabilizing airfoil jet boosters. All this for the Manta, still highly sought after and should have been in Series 1, frankly, but I didn't get it till Series 3, the racing series. Next up, we're going to look at Afterburner, and this has two different Dusty Hazes, the same one, but also in clear. And, you know, how clear is it? Yeah, light shines through it. Anyway, got to be careful with these clear ones, and people say that the clear plastic breaks easily, but when it comes to these figures, you look and you see it's the clear ones that are broken more often than not. And with that, we're going to get into looking at this now. I do have the US release box in really rough shape. Then I've got the UK box, so we'll get into all of that. I want to showcase the differences between these, and with the US one in split seconds, it says split seconds, this does not. But later on, they did add this sticker. This is just a sticker, so we'll see that here as comparisons go by. Then the figures over here don't have the yellow background to them anymore, like they did with their Star Wars figures and the first 3 series. And this is kind of how they've always done it in the UK, with this just kind of they're superimposed in the top corner over there. And the art is different. Like, it's not even the same art. So it's so strange. And so settling for a UK box, like I've done in so many cases, might not be as good. But here's the other thing. I don't even remember this series from back in the day when I was a kid, because I was moved on. I had moved on from this. Most of the stuff got sent overseas anyway. I do think the US boxes are harder to get. So let's take a quick look at this box. Afterburner, the top. You get to see how it converts and all of that. It's kind of fun. Let's do the comparison here. And that's different. See, look how different it is with that. And that's not even in English. Huh. And then over here, you see the bottom, how it converts and all of that, all the stuff, and into high-level cannon launching, pressing, activation rod. And then sort of the similar thing going on down here, but it's different pictures. Like, they didn't use the same pictures or anything, which is weird. And dragster, yeah, this stuff here. Oh, maneuverable cannon launcher. I guess it is in English. When you flip around to the back, this is the US box on the back, and it says the jet cockpit, folding down wings, sonar missile, stun bomb, pivoting, launching cannon. And then the UK version just doubles the front, but it reverses it. So it's upside down on the back. You're in the upside down on the back, but you do have some stuff on the side. And so with that, the UK box shows this on the side and doubles it on the side. Anyway, this is Afterburner. It's pretty cool. Getting into the split second series. Here goes Skybolt, which this is one I didn't even know it was a thing, and I got it in a lot and just kind of tossed it aside. And then once I realized going down the checklist, and I was like, well, you know what? I need this to complete it. My buddy found me a complete one. So mine was in parts and shambles, and I had pieced together 2 or 3 parts ones, but never got it complete. And he was like, $100. I found this for $100. And I was like, dude, I'll give you $100 for it. And so he hooked me up with it, because at the time that was a good deal. Nowadays, I bet you that's a really good deal, complete and in almost perfect condition. But these figures are getting harder and harder and harder to find. So this is getting to be a tough one. The box itself is getting almost impossible to find, except for price-wise. So I got the UK version. Here is the top of it, which, let's look at the bottom. This is English, so it says the fighter jet converts to and jet plane with mat tracker and thruster car with, and then yeah, very interesting right there. The artwork is kind of nice. It's kind of fun. We do see the figures and the standard vehicle up there. And this is a bigger sticker, so a larger size sticker for this to say it converts into 2 assault vehicles instead of calling it split seconds, which I don't know why they didn't just carry over split seconds. But maybe split seconds will get lost in translation because they're really trying to make this is it bilingual, trilingual? Anyway, figuring that must be German. So that's why I get so confused. There's multiple languages on it, but this is Skybolt, and although I wouldn't say it's my favorite or even in my top 10, it's just one of those that's really hard to get, and so collectors they clamor for it. And so we have Detonator, and this comes with, of course, 2 of the same character. This is a UK released box, and we see Jaquez Floor with his clone, and this is another one I'm kind of short on figures for, but because I always viewed it because there's 2 of each. Like, I didn't need another figure, but this VW Bug is something else. Now, this isn't going to give me all the same amount of information. Well, kind of will. So the picture is probably different than the US release, since it's the UK release. It shows up there what it is standard. This is converted, transformed, and then over here it's going to say in really small letters the UV hovercraft. Yeah, I was right. Let's see. In editing, we'll be able to read all that. Maybe. But there is, and then on the bottom, it's in English. So yeah, it's a different language up top, English on bottom. I was right. I can let my wife put that on my scorecard on however many times I was right. But it does repeat the front and the back. The side is, I think, the same. Swiveling gunner's seat. So they were more concerned about bilingual back then than, yeah, they're more concerned about it being bilingual than they were about it being matching the U.S. So I guess I figured out live on camera why they did it, but it was $9.99. Well, pounds. So like, what's that, like $14? Detonator. Next up we got Dynamo, and there's a lot of glare right now on all this. Anyway, this is one that I got brand new, sealed in the box for $33 like 15 years ago, and I was shocked. I mean, back then, you know, sealed was still going for close to $100 for everything sealed and up, of course. But to get this for 33 shipped, I thought there was like a knockoff or something, but I didn't care. So, okay, I got a box. My first box ever to have, and my only Dynamo box. So we'll take a look at it, and here's the figures. I ended up buying this complete for $50 a few years back because I was missing this stupid little missile. And I was like, well, the only way to get it is for it to be complete. So I went ahead and did that. Now, here's the Dynamo, and this one is the back, so it's another language. And was it French? Il Forstadamas, see, Turbina. Oh, it's Spanish. Okay, I'm not gonna. There's my own ignorance of not knowing what language it is, but off-road vehicle, e-chopper, and assault cart with 2 action figures, buggy, and terrain cart. Funny that it was wrapped in this plastic, I guess, to keep it safe, so you can see what things it does. And there's the side. The funny thing about it, though, spins that, and the sides are in different languages. There was this note in there: kindly remind that the product's over 25 years, so be careful to the figure's head because it would be easy to damage. The mask. Thanks for your kind attention. Very interesting. But that's Dynamo, and yeah, 15 years ago, this stuff was a lot more affordable. True on that. All right, next up is Fire Force. I've got both versions of the box on this one, so we can look at both. But both are in pretty rough shape, so it is what it is. But Fire Force is one of my favorites. So probably in the top 6 or 7 of them. But I really like it. As split-second vehicles go, both vehicles are worthwhile. You've got a jet, and it can ride, and you can fit both of your figures in the vehicle. Like, just for now, I'm going to set them in there because I don't want anything to happen to their masks. But getting over here, this is different, completely different art. No, actually, it's reversed art of the same exact art. Ah, that's nice. I'll take that. Reversed, same art. Okay. And then over here, this shows what it's normally like. So a differentiation in how they show the figures. I get all that on camera. So let's just look at the Euro version one first. And then there's the bottom, shows all that. Well, I guess we can do them both at the same time, right? So that's the difference between the bottoms of the box, which pulling forward front hood, which is kind of a cool way to do the conversion transformation. This is the bottom is the US version, the fiery sports car converted. This is the where it says split seconds on it. This other one doesn't say split seconds on it. Then we get to the sides, and so we see all of what it can do on that side, and then on this side we see that my box is coming open, and I don't actually have a Fire Force in there, I don't think. I'm just trying to keep the box alive as best as I can. And so there it goes with the glider craft with turbo thrusters. It shows the bomb falling, and in the back we get to see, which looks really nice. I mean, better than just three-peats. And you can see the bomb, sliding hood, cockpit, adjustable wheel fork, and then launching bumper bomb, back spoiler, turbo thruster, sunroof, and this is Fire Force, both the Euro and the US release box. All right, next up we've got Wolf Beast, which is the hardest vehicle to get for the split seconds line. I mean, it is tough, and people ask ridiculous prices these days for this. Took me a while to get the masks for these guys, but now I've got a Wolf Beast in the box, and it was not cheap. It was, well, let's just be honest, it was ridiculously expensive, but it wasn't the most expensive of all these. One of the problems is to get a nice box, and a US box, you had to buy a, not sealed, but, you know, complete in the box. And you know what? I saw some UK boxes, and I just was like, you know, this one's in great shape, and it's just a little bit more than a UK box, so go with it. Anyway, so this split second one, okay, it's probably not the best vehicle in the world. I don't know why it's so hard to get versus all the other ones, but it is interesting how it works, and it's going to be fun to get to see what all the box says about it. So right here it says Midnight Blue Corvette Stingray converts into a gunner shuttle with Miles Mayhem and a low to the ground tank with his computer image. And then on the bottom it says awesome Corvette Stingray turns into gunner shuttle by pushing the front bumper, so it shows that. And then it shows separating the halves and flipping the cockpit up. And then it shows turns the bottom over to reveal the tank armed with 2 high-powered missiles. And then on the back, it actually will go into everything. So machine guns, quick flip cockpit, extendable truck wheels, high-powered missiles, blast shield, driver's post, spiked tires, Gatling guns, jet thrusters, heat rocket, and then Miles Mayhem and his clone. This thing, can you believe it was only $6 somewhere out there? Wow, $6. Into whatever people ask these days. This is Wolf Beast. I actually don't remember exactly what I paid for it, because I started getting it confused with Laser Command, but they were real close. One was 400, one was 500, and so this probably was the 400 one, because the Laser Command, of course, is the granddaddy of the most expensive of these. We're going to get into that next. Next up we have Stiletto. This is so 80s to have a Lamborghini in it, but should have been Gloria Baker's Shark, not Stiletto. But I did get in the box, and I do actually have the inserts in it, so I'm pretty pleased with that piece. But I wouldn't put it in my top 10, because the functionality of when they split up isn't that great, but the appeal when it's just on the shelf is phenomenal. Just awesome. And then it's got some missiles on the bottom there. Let's get that out of the way and look at this box. This box is really an awesome box. I like the way it looks. I do believe that this is the same artwork. I think they just took the US artwork and reversed it, which might have been my mistake when I looked at those other ones. So just rechecking the Afterburner, and that's what they did. They just reversed it and changed a few things. So it's not completely different. It's just slightly different. Okay. Anyway, looking at the stiletto box, it's kind of fun. It looks like she's kind of splitting off and two jets on the side of a cliff, because that would make sense, right? Coming around the corner on the side of a cliff, and you can jump off it and do some stuff. So Slick Sports Car converts to a raid plane with Gloria, attack chopper with computer image. So I don't even call them clones, computer image. And down here, another language. So same thing we get, but this is the only one of the few that I even have an insert for. I think I have a couple more. And so when you open it up inside, this is how it's presented with the insert. Oh man, that's a challenge. And yeah, that one's kind of yellow. That's kind of yellow. Anyway, there it is. Yeah, that's the downside. At least I got the stiletto box. This thing yellow is really bad. Stiletto. Except we got Barracuda / Jackal. So when I think of Barracuda, which is the US name for it, I think of swim lessons where you're a guppy and they're a barracuda and then a dolphin, a shark and stuff. But this is definitely not aquatic at all. So anyway, get this. It's a really cool vehicle though, and I think they did it well. A lot of people get a lot of hate on the split seconds, but I still like it. And this was one they did well. One they actually did relatively well. Same thing on the other side. Here it shows it before and after the conversion. It's the top should say the US on it, so tiny writing, but so Sleek Jet Cycle converts to a jet with Bruno Shepard, and then it converts to a booster cycle with computer image, and that is the Jackal, which I like this one. I mean, it's a little challenging to complete this day and age. I'm glad I got mine completed a long time ago, but also to get one in the box, and the box is a little rough on mine, but hopefully over time I can weigh it down and work it into shape. But I'm just happy to have it. Would rather have the Barracuda name on it for sure. This Jackal Barracuda. Next up we got Vandal, and I happened to luck into getting both versions of the box, and I actually have a third version of the box, but it's really just a minor variant. So getting into it though, this is kind of a goofy one. It takes a bit of imagination to play with it, but you know, kids have imagination. So with that, it's okay. It's not not in my top 10. Still, it is a fun one, and yeah, it definitely lives up to the split seconds. That is for sure. Lots of breakage points on this guy. All right, so here are both versions, the US and there is the UK. They did kind of overlay this Top Jet over this to shrink the picture down. So that's what I'm seeing as difference between these. I don't have a whole lot where I have both to compare the differences, but we are going to see that this is interesting though. We noticed that this is almost exactly the same. And so it's a powerful front end loader, converts into a flying beacon craft with a recon craft with computer image, and a dirt tractor with Floyd Malloy. Probably gonna need reading glasses soon, huh? That's depressing. And then this is the side here, so it just repeats on there, but you get more with the US box, powerful front end loader, and then it shows a little bit more stuff going on right there. And as this, the front is the back. Let's look at the back of this, and then you got a fold down airfoil, you got fold down cockpit, fog launchers, Sting detonator, torpedo cannon, power blaster, fold up windshield, and this is Vandal. But there's one more variant, and it's for the UK box. And it's just the same thing except it's got the sticker. So I don't know why. I do not know why some have the sticker, some don't have the sticker. Was it an afterthought? Did they decide to leave it off? I don't know. And the boxes do look slightly different, but that's just might be from my angle where I'm looking at it. But still, figured I'd point it out. Still, that is still Vandal. And Vandal. This is the infamous laser command, and is definitely, without a doubt, the holy grail of collecting, and is absolutely amazing that the electronics work this day and age, if they do work. I've gotten electronics to work on everyone I've dealt with, but some of them took a little bit of fiddling. Didn't take any apart though, so got some cheap tricks. And I will say this, I was kind of hoping we'd get figure packs looking like this from good old Loyal Subjects. I mean, why can't we get Loyal Subjects figure packs? And obviously you're not going to pass a Loyal Subjects figure off as a true Laser Command figure, so there's not that problem out there. But anyhow, this was a shocker to me that I got the box, tracked the box down. I wanted the insert. I didn't get the insert, but that would have been like an additional, like you'd have to go up a whole other notch to like almost $1,000 to get one with an insert. But I did get both versions of the box. I gotta say this. I think that the US box is the superior box, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. I keep telling myself that the UK box is in better shape. And to me, it doesn't really matter. I've got it. I'm happy to have both of these. So we're about to take a look at both versions of Laser Command boxes. I'm pivoting this to reduce the glare, but there it shows on the side here 3 separate electronic actions, and shows the figures down here. This doesn't have like the yellow background that it did when they first started the whole line out. And then on this side over here, this one's got the figures up top like it shows, and it is the exact same art, just juxtapositioned slightly different so that they could incorporate it the way they did to match up with all of the other stuff that was going on. So the bottom is the US box, top is the UK box. As you can see, even the writing is different. This looks more kind of exciting, and you got the lasers. You got a little kid on there playing with it. The mask Hornet shoots real electronic light rays that actually blow apart the Venom Rat Fang vehicle. And then over here, Miles Mayhem is constantly bringing evil into the world, but Mad Tracker will always be there to stop him. With laser technology, yellow light beams are for illusion only. Actual infrared beams are invisible. And then up top here, Ordinary Crate folds down, changes into Hornet lighting. A lightning quick laser firing jet. Looking at it from the side, it shows, on this side, it does show is it the Rat Fang, the actual blue truck, and Venom Rat Fang. And over here, it shows some of my stuff coming off here, but a rugged truck before laser attack. And then the Venom Rat Fang is destroyed by the Mask Force. Showing the top of it, it's going to show you what the crate can do. And this packing crate converts into a laser firing jet that shoots real infrared rays to blow up Venom Rat Fang. Here's the Rat Fang, and well, Laser Command from the back. So as you can see, it just repeats everything. So actually this is there's some English writing on this one here, but on this side, so you repeat the artwork. Here we get actually from the back, and it will say particle blaster, stabilizer wings. Get a little closer here. Laser firing guns shooting real infrared rays.
Both wheels catapult off, flash cannons, door launches off, and sleek glider wings, stabilizer wings. That's pretty much everything that it says. But yes, 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 this is laser command, and very exciting to get the box to the Holy. I've had the Holy Grail for years now, and complete. But to have the box, it's whole next level for me. Right, so this is my look at every single box for Kinner Mask. Kind of crazy, right? It's insane. Nowhere in the world do I see all of them on one wall, in one picture, in one GIF. And there it is. There, it's sort of. I tried to make it work, but let me know what you guys think about this. Is this insane? Is this crazy? Do you think that loyal subjects will actually do more than just a few waves, or do you think they'll do all 40? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share, out.